Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Today is December 3rd. My name is Phil. I'm with the Trade Lab Discord. If you check the links in the description, you can learn a little bit more about some of the services that we offer over at the Trade Lab Discord. We have three main services. We have a credit spread service where we offer two different credit spreads each day. We offer a credit spread right around 10 a.m. and then another credit spread right around 10:40 a.m. And then we have a service called SPY ATM where we buy an at the money call or a put, and that happens every day right at 10:30 a.m. We tell you which strike that you should purchase, we give you your stop loss, and we give you the take profit, and we even give you some guidance on how much money you should be risking per your account size. And then lastly, we've got our newest service, which is these blue and red lines that you see here. That is our support and resistance system that we call SRX. So we're going to go over the SPY ATM play and the SRX system for the day. All right, so our levels came out at 9:50 this morning, so right here. And if you were watching this, if you put your levels in, they're in as this candle is forming. If you look back a little bit, you can see what's forming here. You can see that we're opening above S1 and we're coming up above. We're diving back into it, but we're not closing below it. We close inside of it. And then the next candle, we actually close above it, and we've got a nice wick down here. This is a good signal to get in on a bounce play. And if you would have held this, it went all the way up to R1 and actually past R1. And this is a really good move right here. Your contract size would over double on an at the money call. I think it's about 120%. And if you held it all the way to the top, you're looking at almost tripling an at the money contract. So 181%. If you go one contract out of the money, obviously those numbers go way higher, but there's more risk associated with that. So just depends on your risk tolerance. I typically go at the money or one strike in the money, just so I have a little bit of protection if it goes against me. So a lot of good plays here today. You played this. We had some symbols up here telling you to get in. Now we'll quickly go over the difference between these arrows and the circles. So once a trend is established, or the system thinks a trend is established, it will start printing arrows. Before a trend is established, it will print circles. It'll also print circles if the play is counter the trend. So we had a trend established here, which is why you see the arrows, but then we had some counter trend plays come in, and that's why you're seeing the circles. Now, the counter trend plays didn't work out so well today. This one was okay. This one did not work. This one, I don't know, maybe you could have made a little bit of money off of that. Yesterday, on the other hand, if you go back and watch that video, the circles were really in charge that day because we never hit a real trend according to the SRX system. So we just sort of chopped between S1 and R1 all day. And so it was just circles. Every play was a circle that day, and a lot of those plays did pan out. So that's a good thing to watch here. You got to be careful with these circles. If you see an arrow before it, that means a trend is established and you're going against the trend. Be ready to cut those quickly if you play them at all. But once I see arrows, I'm probably not interested unless I really see signs that we're gonna go in the other direction. But what do they always say? The trend is your friend, and it was today. So a couple of us got in on this play right here. And now this was a slow moving play, but it did work out. So let's hop over and we'll look at post your profits and see how some people made out on these SRX plays. But the first thing you're going to see in the Post Your Profits channel is SPY ATM. So I guess we'll go over that really fast. So as I said earlier, that comes out at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time every day. And today it was a call, and we take profit at 20%, but this thing actually went up over 50% really fast. And I mean, you could have obviously just held and held, but no one does that with SPY ATM. And so what I did today, I was looking for R1. So I took off the majority of my position once we hit that 20% profit. And I was hoping to get up here into R1, which we did, but I stopped out before that because I didn't want to see my position go red. So I stopped out with my runner with a little bit of profit. Other people did better than me. I think Lance ended up making $7 more on his. So let's check this out. So here are our SPY ATM trades today: 167 to 201, 169 to 203, quick winner. And yes, it was. We were in for 3 minutes. 175 to 203. You can do the SPY ATM play on SPX or MES as well. We give you instructions on that. So we had someone doing that here. Lots of other people here. Here's Lance. He did his 171 to 203, and then he took his runner to 2.1. So he squeezed out a few more bucks thanks to SRX. And then we had Aiden here. He did the same thing. He took off the majority of his play. I think it was the majority at 210, but then he left a runner to 228. But then Irwin, he had to one up Aiden. So he went all the way to 229 on his. And that was a 36% gain. And I think I already said this, but I actually was holding mine as well, and I saw mine get up to 55%, I believe. And so I could have taken that, and a sane person probably would have taken that, but I really like to push things. I like to see if we can get up to these levels. So I don't mind holding a runner and closing it out for break even or a small profit when the upside is so high up here. So it just depends on your trading style. Now we're jumping into some of the SRX plays. Keith ended up doing a credit spread using the levels. And here's Lance. He did 64 to 72. Here's Lance with another SRX play, 59 to 65. And then he took one off at 75. So that's a great play. This is me. So this would be this play right here. I really liked this setup, and I'll tell you why. So we popped above R1. We came back and we tested it, and we held, and then we went back up. Not only did that happen, but we got a green arrow at the same time. So I was interested in that. Now you can see over here that we did pop above R1 right here on this candle. But what I really like are the retests. So the break and then the retest. We had the break and then it failed. So this isn't something I'm interested in. But this right here, where we're breaking above and we're retesting, these are the setups that I really like. Now, a lot of times they go up really fast, but in this case, it was a slow burn, but it did work. I took some plays from 68 to 86, so that was a 26.47% play with SRX. And then with Stockmeister, he said, made a nice return that covered the membership on the retest of R1 at 155 New York Times. The same sort of play I was in right here. He jumped in before me and he held longer than me. And let's go back. Here's where he says what it was. He said he got in for 118 and got out for 166. So I said that's almost 41%. Great play. I was in a piece of that same play and caught 26.5% on mine. So yeah, what a great day for SPY ATM and for SRX. It was a slow grind up, but there were opportunities here. I'll show you something else. This is something that I highlight sometimes. Check out the Heikinashi. Again, not something, if you've watched my other videos, I don't trade this, but I'm paying more attention to it recently because it highlights the same play where we come down into S1 and then we get that color change right here. And then up we go. But there you go. There's lots of different ways to play these SRX levels. So like I said, links for everything will be in the description, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.